Shafilea Iftikhar Ahmed was Punjabi and Urdu girl. She was born July 14, 1986, was a British Pakistani girl who was murdered by her parents in a suspected honor killing at the age of 17 due to her refusal to accept a forced marriage. Shafilea Ahmed's parents were each imprisoned for a minimum of 25 years for her murder in August 2012. The possibility of other individuals having helped her parents to dispose of their daughter's body has been raised. After the parents' trial, the chief executive of the Bradford Council for Mosques encouraged anybody with information about the case to come forward with information to assist police. Shafilea's father, Iftikhar Ahmed, was born in the village of Uddam, in the Gujarat district of Pakistan. He was a native Punjabi speaker and was a follower of the Sunni branch of Islam. He migrated to the UK with his family when he was 10 years old. Iftikhar then visited Denmark and went to a party in his first weeks, when he met a Danish woman named Vivi Lone Andersen, who was a Christian. They were married in 1980 in Copenhagen in a civil ceremony, and the couple later had a son, named Tony. His family, particularly some of his male members, did not accept his relationship with Vivi. The family remained in good spirits until he returned to Pakistan at the request of his family 5 years later. Due to the death of his mother, in 1985, he was forced into an arranged marriage by his family with his cousin, Farzana Ahmed, who threatened to commit suicide if he refused to marry her. After the wedding, he called Anderson to tell her that he was returning to the UK and to ask her to move in with him. He did not tell her that he had taken a second wife. The newlyweds moved into a predominantly Asian area of Bradford, West Yorkshire. Iftikhar and Farzana, who was by then heavily pregnant, were already moved in when Anderson arrived. Iftikhar then admitted that he married Farzana as their marriage had been planned by their family as children. Upset, Anderson filed for divorce and left the apartment the same month as she entered the country. Iftikhar and Anderson fell out of contact until Iftikhar called to tell her that Farzana was giving birth to a daughter. Iftikhar told her that if he and his second wife had a girl, he would not allow her to grow up without the strict Islamic guidance. As soon as Iftikhar married Farzana, he distanced himself from the westernized culture he formerly enjoyed. Shafilea Shaf Ahmed was then born on 14 July 1986 in Bradford. The family lived in the Great Sankey area of Warrington, Cheshire. Ahmed attended Great Sankey High School, its sixth form center, Barrow Hall College, and Priestley College from September 2003. She was an A-level student and hoped to become a solicitor. Growing up, Shafilea suffered from child abuse, both physical and emotional. Her teacher reported seeing a bruise and a cut on her lip, which Shafilea attributed to a beating from her parents. In February 2003, Shafilea ran away from home and asked social services to help her find a place to live. She regarded herself as homeless and was placed under emergency hotel accommodation by Warrington's council. When contacting social services, Shafilea said that she had experienced domestic violence that escalated from the age of 15. On her council application, she stated her experience of the abuse, saying, "One parent would hold me whilst the other hit me." Her application was also due to the fear of being abducted to Pakistan by her parents and subjected to a forced child marriage. The services were seen as having been slow to help Shafilea. During the trip to Pakistan in February 2003, Ahmed had swallowed bleach in what was reported to be a suicide attempt. Her parents claimed this had been a simple mistake and that she had drunk the bleach during a power outage because she thought it was mouthwash, a claim prosecutors later called a stupid and obvious lie. Ahmed suffered extensive damage to her throat, for which she was having regular care at the time of her disappearance. According to media reports, she had turned down a suitor in a forced marriage during this trip, although her parents denied there being any attempts made to pressure her into agreeing to the marriage. Ahmed disappeared 11 September 2003 and had been missing for a week before her teachers informed the police. Subsequently, a major campaign urged anyone with information to come forward. Actress Shabna Gulati fronted the media campaign and read some of Shafilea's poems on television. A nationwide hunt was launched, but when Ahmed failed to seek treatment for her damaged throat, detectives became convinced she had been murdered in a possible honor killing, connected to her rejection of her Pakistani suitor. Superintendent Geraint Jones told the Daily Mirror that her family say a suitor had been found for her in Pakistan, but she was free to make her own decisions. In February 2004, Ahmed's dismembered remains were found after heavy flooding in the River Kent near Sedgwick, Cumbria, 70 miles 110 km away from Warrington. Police said the corpse was deliberately hidden, and a gold zigzag bracelet and blue topaz ring found with the body were identified by her parents. Due to the advanced decomposition of her remains, the cause of death could not be determined by pathologist Alison Armour. Detective Sergeant Mike Foster stated, at a hearing, the pathologist could not determine the cause of death, but did say the body was that of a young female. Obviously, because of the condition of the body, she was unable to give any further findings. Police believe the body had probably been there since the day she disappeared, or not long after. A second post-mortem ordered by South Lakeland coroner Cyril Prickett failed to add anything further. Inspector Mike Forrester of Cumbria Constabulary stated, at an inquest hearing that it was unclear whether all of Ahmed's body parts had been found, and that DNA tests made it a 1 in a billion chance that the remains were those of anyone other than Shafilea. Ahmed's dentist said he was 90% sure that the lower jaw found was hers after examining the dental work carried out on it. Ahmed's parents, 51-year-old taxi driver Iftikhar Ahmed and 48-year-old housewife Farzana Ahmed, were released without charge after briefly having been arrested along with 5 other members of her extended family. Several of Shafilea's poems interested the police, notably, I Feel Trapped, which was interpreted as reflecting Ahmed's despairing, emotional state and described a hopeless life with a family that ignored her, and that she had run away from home several times. Ahmed's friend Sarah Bennett recalled an occasion when Ahmed had been branded a slut by her mother for dyeing her hair and wearing false nails. Neighbor Sheila Costello said, she has been reported missing twice before and been found staying with friends. We heard they had an argument over an arranged marriage and that Shafi had run away. I hope nothing terrible has happened to her. After 3 years, Cheshire Constabulary had not established a suspect, although 8 members of Ahmed's extended family were arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. Proceedings against them were dropped, and unidentified human hair, not from members of her immediate family, was reportedly found on Ahmed's foot. In January 2008, the coroner's inquest held that Ahmed was the victim of a very vile murder, having been taken from her home on Liverpool Road in Warrington. The verdict was unlawful killing. Her family left the inquest without making any comment. After the inquest, her parents attempted unsuccessfully to have the verdict of unlawful killing overturned and replaced by an open verdict. Her father argued that the coroner's view was biased. Ahmed's younger sister, Alesha, arranged a robbery that took place at her parents' house on August 25, 2010, during which she, her brother, sisters, and parents were in the house. She was arrested and told police that her parents had killed Ahmed. She told police that after trying to force Ahmed to accept the arranged marriage, her parents were afraid her refusal would bring shame on the family, so their father put a plastic bag in Ahmed's mouth and suffocated her to death. On September 7, 2011, Cheshire police announced that Ahmed's parents had been charged with her murder. Their trial at Chester Crown Court began in May 2012, and they were both found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 25 years on August 3, 2012. Justice Roderick Evans said, an expectation that she live in a sealed cultural environment, separate from the culture of the country in which she lived, was unrealistic, destructive, and cruel. Cheshire police purposefully did not refer to events as an honor killing, clarifying they do not legally recognize the term and that what had happened was simply murder. After the trial, police were said to be looking into the possibility that Ahmed's parents had help when they dumped her body in 2003, and that they were looking into new information revealed during the trial. In August 2012, the chief executive of Bradford Council for Mosques encouraged anybody knowing about the case to come forward and said his group would help police. Following the conviction of Ahmed's parents for her murder, Ahmed's close friend Melissa Powner read a statement outside the court. We have waited for this day For many years, we have watched as her killers roamed free, yet today, we heard those important words. Words that have finally brought our friend the justice that she deserves. Shafilea was a caring, high-spirited and brave young lady who, even in her toughest times, always strove to remain positive and hopeful that she too would one day be able to live the peaceful and happy life she deserved. Shafilea was an extremely intelligent young lady who we have no doubt would have accomplished her personal ambitions of becoming a lawyer. Yet this opportunity was unfairly snatched away from her. If there is one thing we pray will come from this, it is that her beautiful face and tragic story will inspire others to seek help, to make them realize that this kind of vile treatment, no matter what culture or background someone is from, is not acceptable. And there is a way out. On July 14, 2015, the first National Day of Memory for Victims of Honor Killings was held, organized by the Leeds-based charity Karma Nirvana. It is held annually on Ahmed's birthday. In August 2022, the podcast Method and Madness released an episode featuring Shafilea's case. On May 7, 2024, the online true crime show, The Casual Criminalist, posted an episode covering the case.